30 seconds live. 0 people. We waiting. We waiting. And we waiting. One person has joined the chat. What's up? Yo. Hello. What's good? How are you? How you feeling? Guys, what the fuck? That was very quick. Hey, what's up, RDP? What's good? Yeah, very quick, guys. What's up? I'm good. I was making a reality check video, and I made it was an 11-minute video. But then I thought to myself, you know what? I feel weird because I feel like I kind of talked about something like this before. Then I checked my latest video and I'm like, that's kind of the same shit I'm saying again. So I decided not to fucking make the video. Like, I deleted that shit. So tomorrow I'll need to make a new fucking video on reality check. Hopefully, yeah, something else. What's the next video? What's up? What's the types? The next sociotype analysis video? Probably, I'm thinking LSC maybe. I'm thinking LSC. I'm thinking after LSC probably LII. That's what I'm thinking. Thank you for asking. I mean, listen, my recovery is good. I That's really funny. Because they're like, they told me you shouldn't, like, people keep telling me you shouldn't work out for like they said something crazy for like a month. You shouldn't avoid like any strenuous like strain. And I'm thinking, like, dude, come on, come on. I'm not gonna wait a fucking month to work out. Like, it's my face. My face had surgery, not my fucking legs or my arms. So I was working out today. They also told me to have a liquid diet. I had sushi yesterday, so not much of a liquid diet. In fact, when I came out of the doctor, first thing I did, I went to KFC and I and I ate chicken. So listen, I just think it's a bit silly. They're gonna be telling me, like, what the fuck? It's just my face, okay, and I feel okay. But as you can see, I wait. Sorry, there is some bruising here. Like some like blue shit. Like, I don't know why there. Like, I'm not sure why there is blue shit near my eye. Like, even though it was the surgery was here, but it's like it came here. Weird. But I feel okay. I don't feel bad at all. LLC and are so similar, I swear. I mean, it depends, I think. Eh, thoughts on SP6 LII meta? I don't really have thoughts on that. It's like a new correlation, right? I don't really have thoughts on that. Yeah, what's up, Jason? Nice to see you, man. For my next project, I'm writing an 8-core protagonist. I'll be honest, it's hard to write a complex arc for. Okay. Why do you think it's hard to write a complex arc? Like, what is the reason behind difficulty in writing a complex arc? Hello, guys. Hello, man. Yo, what's up, Invictus? Your sinuses are there's a bruise under your eye. That's why car crash victims always have them, no matter where the head they hit. Wow, you are you're smart. You're smart. It makes sense, because I feel like it did impact the sinuses. Bro, I was so curious because my lip is my lip is like bruised up, but I was so curious, like, did they how did they do the surgery? Because it was like a cyst, I think, here, right? Cyst somewhere here. And I was watching videos on YouTube of surgery of this, and I was like, bro, this is intense. Like they cut up your skin, they like fucking make a hole there, they dig it up, and I'm like, this is like this is like a butcher fest. This is a butcher fest, you know. So I don't know. It's very like interesting, because I don't feel any pain, even though they cut me the fuck up like a pig, you know. So, um, but you know, the anesthesia was the weirdest experience ever because this woman was telling me like, "Oh, you're gonna feel very nice in your head," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm used to this, you know, because reminds me of my trip, you know." But I, it's like my brain cut out before I even finished the sentence. Like I remember saying it, but I never said it. I was like, yeah, yeah, it's really funny when I was. That's it, you know. I'll be calling my. Wait, someone's calling me, but it's okay. Give me a second, guys. I'm back. I'm back. LIE SO1. Nah, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not on the intuitive one core shit. Man, Colorado is nice. Colorado is actually one of the places I would want to visit. To be honest with you, it's really nice, but I think it's pretty expensive. Uh, Yo, what's up, man? How are you? I don't know, like, what kind of, we don't have really examples of it, and like, why is this suddenly like an intuitive one core? Like why is it an exception? Could someone explain the difference between SO1? I mean, from my view of SP1 is that they're much more collaborative, they're much more self-demanding. You know, that's how I would portray them. There's much more self-sacrificing and dutiful and almost like serving quality, wanting to be good and there's a lot of self-demand put on them. That's that's the type that can seem almost like the most SP4ish, right? And SO1 is, the way I view SO1 is very similar to sexual one in a sense. You know, still rigid, intellectual, controlled, demanding of people, right? And all of that shit. So I don't view them. To me, SP1 and SO1 is easy to tell the difference, not because I'm like super well versed on the types, but whenever there was like an LSC I couldn't figure out a subtype, it was always SP1. It was like I don't see anything. I just see him like having anxiety and being like trying to control his anger and trying to be good and shit. So I'm like, okay, you know, SP1 easy peasy. Hello. How well do you think choleric phlegmatic would fit SP7? How well? I think it's a bit weird to see a 7 with no sanguine. You know, personally, I think it's a strange thing. It's like being an 8 with no choleric. It's weird, but I'm not sure if it is a thing or isn't a thing. You know, like might be, might not be. The one book ideas, yeah, but like why does that mean they're suddenly SI vulnerable? You know, like okay, they're an intellectual and they're an idealist. I mean, guess who is social one? Ben Shapiro. You know, Ben Shapiro is the social one. You know, he ain't no fucking LIE. So I mean, I don't think them being idealistic and means that they have to be NI ego or some shit. Like Yagami, I don't. I'm leaning towards the first. I mean, Raven did a type analysis on Light Yagami, and I think he typed him the first combination VELF. I think he typed him social too. Everyone is obviously like he can be social too, But I'm not sure if Raven changed his mind. But that's what he typed. Light. I've never watched Death Note. People be circle jerking that show, but to me personally, I never found as it never piqued my interest. So I don't know anything about Light other than reading from Raven's own analysis of his type. Can you change your Enneagram subtype? Not really like retyping, but actually moving. No, I don't believe it's possible. I think what is likely is that we believe we might have been some other subtype, you know, and now we're different. But I feel like it's less that you're changing subtypes, and maybe more that you are in and out of neurosis. So the way it manifests might be different. When you're deep in your neurosis and you're unhealthy as fuck, your manifestation of your personality might be different than from when you're healthy. So you might kind of have this impression almost like, yeah, but I kind of feel like I was more SP5 back then and now I'm more like SO5. It's like, yeah, but maybe you just were unhealthy. Maybe you were in your neurosis. That's why you thought you were this over the other. It's not necessarily that your subtypes will change, because the subtype is a big thing. It's supposed to be a big thing. It might seem, oh, it's the same type, but well, no, it's a different type. It's the same core type, yes, but it has so different manifestation and different yeah, the way it looks, and then different traits, everything. What would you type, Sneeko? I don't know. I'm actually not sure what I would type, Sneeko. I know I would never type him SLE. I don't think he's an SE either. Weird. I've seen people type him SE. Uh, Maybe I'm missing something. I'm not sure, but I'm not too sure about his type. I don't like him much. He's I don't like him much because I preferred him because I watched some of his earlier stuff a few times. I liked him more then. He was kind of deep. He was kind of like, unconventional, trying to kind of live your dream. And then he became this like Andrew Tate lover. He became like Andrew Tate, alpha male or like sigma male and red pill and women. And it was kind of like, oh fuck, man, it's kind of cringe. And then he's very strange, at least in my eyes, because he talks about like men and how real men are, but then he lets his woman get fucked in front of him and he watches her get fucked. And he has no, like, he's okay with it. So I was confused by that dynamic, because I'm like, when you're preaching like red pill sigma male shit, and then you're basically like, you get cucked. You watch your woman get fucked in front of you, and that's the example you give to people. That's the example you give to young men, and it's very strange. Like, okay, he likes to see her get fucked. That's fine if that's what the fuck he wants to do. But don't be preaching about values when you don't represent them in any way, shape, or form. I do think it's very weird. And he, yelling at people, yelling at the camera. Those women are always the same. It's like, listen, to be honest with you, I'm bored of it. I'm very bored of it. I'm bored of the right wing shit. It was really fun in the beginning, right? It was fun in the beginning. Now it's boring. It was always the woman's fault. It's always the woman's fault. It's always women, 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 and it's always the same shit. I'm not interested in hearing, like, so what? Fucking men are saints. Men are fucking saints. I don't know what happened. Suddenly men are perfect. It's, a guy cheats, it's the woman's fault. It's like, How the fuck is this? That makes no sense. So I'm a bit fed up with this whole fucking environment and this ideology of red pill and those men. I mean, what kind of women they judge anyway? It's like they invite people with no brain on the podcast, and then they say, "Lol, look, see, women are dumb. Lol, look, see, women are this and that." Like, of course, like you invite a bunch of hoes and bunch of OnlyFans motherfuckers. Of course, they're gonna be that way. Why are you so shocked? You know, like you're not interviewing normal women. You're not interviewing women with respect for themselves in any way. So why are you so shocked? Like, bro, what the fuck? And that's your sample of how to judge women based on those particular individuals who like sell themselves on OnlyFans. Like, what the fuck? And it's bullshit. Those motherfuckers did not talk to a proper woman ever in their life. Okay, they never did. That's the reality of the situation. Hello, hello, Hump. Thank you, man. It means a lot to me. I'm very good. I'm very good. I feel recovered. I feel recovered. I was working out today. I had some physical fitness because I don't know. I wanted to move a bit. I wanted to work out for a bit because like going a week without any fitness and any working out, I don't know. I don't know. I wanted to move a bit. Why are SLEs for L even though they're pretty good in logic? Did I misunderstand for L? Um, I would say this is more of a limitation of PY than anything else. But that's not because it doesn't mean that 4L doesn't fit SLE. It fits it well because SLEs are described as quite, they're confident in logic, yes. And I guess you can make an argument that doesn't work with 4L. That's not good. They're shameless about their logic. That is true. If you criticize them or you say that they're stupid, or it doesn't matter. Even if they say stupid shit, they think they're intelligent, whatever. So in that case, you can argue, well, that's not low logic at all. It doesn't make sense. Okay, well then you will type it second logic. Okay, you'll try to type them second logic. Even though in Oshra, kind of, to be honest with you, SLE, if you read the description of an SLE, it's very 4L. It's someone who literally has result logic. They're described as people who use logic to get results. So I mean, it's result logic as fuck. But even ignoring that and looking just as the elements, you can argue it can be second logic. Well, then, sure, yeah, okay. What the fuck? Where does the physics go? Where does the volition go? Because it certainly shouldn't go to first physics, and it certainly shouldn't be third volition. So you're in a bad place because SLE is very VF type. It is an incredibly VF type, one V, two F. So you're kind of stuck with third logic or fourth logic. Which one is better? Is it the insecure logic or is the fearless logic, the unbothered logic? You know, obviously, lesser of it's kind of like the lesser evil option to go with the VFEL SLE. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, people need to understand something. I think, PY is not a perfect system. So trying to find the perfect explanation, uh, it will lead us in circles. I mean, that's just the way that it is. The system has literally like four fucking placements, as in like VFEL, right? Four letters, and that's what the fuck you have, and that's it. You have four positions and figure it out. So it is limiting, and especially in a type like FLVE, I can see why if you want to nitpick it, you could nitpick it. You could nitpick it in some type of way. Yes, you know, you could nitpick anything, but is it really worth to nitpick it in that specific way when it comes to PY? I'm not so sure. How would you describe SE role? I mean, SE role, the way I look at ILEs and IEs is that you would, a common mistype is SCE in IE and ILE in SLE. It's actually more common than people think. More common because we think of an ILE as a nerd. He's just a nerd. He's a geek. But the reality is, an ILE can look almost like an SLE. And I feel like the SC being in the role element, it can give the impression, especially because the ILE can even be more more uncontrolled with its willpower, with application of its will. It can even dictate appearance and can even judge people's value based on appearance. It can judge people's worth based on their kinetic energy, on their appearance, on their willpower. So in a way, you're kind of like, whoa, shit, that's like a fucking SLE, though. That's a fucking SLE. So I think very misleading for people when they think about SE role, but very underrated because guys, listen, our role element is kind of the role is kind of fucking OP. It's coped the fuck out, but it's OP because we are stubborn as fuck. We are stubborn as fuck with our. I see this in myself. I'm any role, and I'm very, very reactive and stubborn about it. Very rigid, you know. When it comes to my capabilities or other people's capabilities or people's personality or my internal content, who I am as a person, I can be very, very motherfucking rigid. And yeah, like we sleep on the roll, like in EIE and ESC, TE roll, bro. Like that shit goes heavy. That's a potential workaholic. That's a potential very competency seeking individual. So the role is very underrated. Getting into typology is rough for me. It's like I'm 1 3L or something because I can't getting into one conclusion at all. I think your feelings about typology, I think they're natural. I think they're expected. It's normal to feel this way about typology. I mean, sometimes I get frustrated with typology, and I'm like, what is true? you know, you get this fucking like existential crisis of typology. Like, what is true? Like everything I believed in is now not true. So what is truth? It's relative, I guess, in this typology thing. So it's a mess. It's definitely a mess, and you need to. The way I dealt with it personally, you adapt. What other choice you have? You have to adapt. My takes changed. My takes changed. And if I go in circles, I go in circles. That's the way this is, and I will adapt. If that's the case, I'm gonna adapt because once I adapt, I stop clinging to one answer, and that's good, because I'm not expecting. Like I stop expecting this one truth, because I was one of the people who believed that there was one truth to everything. There was one truth to everything, and life was easy. Life's easy, There's one truth, black or white. Same with typology. There's truth. There is truth. There is one truth. But when you're wrong and you change your mind, and other people are wrong and they change their mind, and you do this few times, you start realizing that this truth thing is ever evolving. Truth is not a state you will ever achieve in typology. It's a temporary state. It's the truth for now. That's the way I view it. It's the truth for now, but it's always evolving. So what will be the truth in 2 months, 5 months, 1 year? Who knows? But that's the way I view typology, and it helps me deal with it better because I'm not clinging to just one answer, and makes me more open, I think, because I've been there, I've believed in those things. So I get that. I know why people do that. That's helpful. Being insecure of your body image, I would appearance. Being more insecure of your appearance, it's more SE related. It's more SE related. Seeing the anti-correlationism on typology. My opinion on this anti-correlationism is funny because I've seen them. I've seen few of them, and they are very arrogant, which I can be myself a bit arrogant, so can other people. That's fine. That's not really the problem. Okay, but they are blind to their arrogance. They're completely blind to the fact that they are no different than any person who is an extreme correlationist. So that's the funny thing. That's where the hypocrisy comes in, because they're no different. They're the same. They're the same. They believe in ideology, which is fuck correlations. We need to remove it. That's an ideology. I'm sorry. You are believing in something. That's the side you're on. You're on that team. So that's an ideology for you. You are arrogant because you believe anti-correlationist. There's no room for them. They are bad for community. They are the cancer of community. You basically think the same shit anti-correlationists think. So you're no fucking different. You're the same. You're the same cunt as the anti-correlationists. Same. Just not aware. You're the same, but not. You don't have any of the self-awareness, which is a bit of a fucking problem. But I view it as anything else. Listen, if I would pick a side, I'll tell you this. I have argued against my own friends when it came to rigidity. I have argued against my own friends when I felt that people were being too rigid. When I felt it was being too restrictive. I fought against them. It was me. So I'm not here. I want hyper rigidity where we just say fucking SCE can only be one type, and fucking LSI cannot be social 6 and whatever the fuck. That's too much. That's too much. That's too much. I draw lines when it's not reasonable. I will draw a line. But if I have to pick a side, I'll tell you this. I will side with correlationists every day. That's it. Every day. I don't give a fuck. I might not agree with them 100%, but I would rather be on the side of correlationists than those motherfuckers on Reddit. I would rather be a correlationist than one of those people on Reddit who fights and believes INFP8 exists, because that's what anti-correlationists are at the end of the day. Same shit, same principle. I don't believe in restrictions. Same fucking shit. You might tell me it's not the same because I just don't believe in extreme restrictions. Come on, drop the cope. Let's come on. Why? It's the same shit. It's the same shit. The principle is the same. INFP8 believer does not like correlations. He believes being strict is not okay. He believes in INFP8. So I would rather be a fucking correlationist and side with them than be part of the little fucking Reddit campaign. That's cringe to me. Fuck it. I'm not being part of that. Yo, what's up, man? Blizz, what's up? How are you, man? It's been a while. Yo, what's up, Nathan? Is our SP8 and SP9 similar? Honestly, like, I don't find them that similar, to be honest with you, because an SP9, the way I view SP9s are much more passive. They're much more passive, way more passive, while the SP8 is much more risk taking, much more aggressive. SP8 is much more initiative, much more proactive, much more willful. The SP8 will take your shit if you get in his way, and he will want to get his way, while the SP9 just doesn't want to be a problem for people, and he doesn't want people to have a problem with him. And as long as that's the case, he just will mind his own business. The SP8 is a bit different. He is gonna take what he wants, and hopefully you're not gonna be in his way. So it's different type, man. I feel like the difference between correct me if I'm wrong, right? But the way I think is that the role would be more dictating. So the role believes okay. I've talked to people who are SC role, and I would tell them I'm an SC based person. I would tell them, like, this doesn't look good on you, like you don't look good right now, like you still need to get in shape, right? You're slacking, it's not ideal at all. And this SC role person is like, no, I think this is great, and this is awesome. And I'm like, what the fuck? That makes no sense. Like, to me, it doesn't make any sense that they think this, right? From my perspective, it makes no sense, but they think it's awesome. And no, like, absolutely not. It's great. Absolutely not. There's a bit of that rigidity, stubbornness, and believing that they know better, even though they don't have any nuance. I feel like ILE's SC is almost delusional. Same with IEs. There's almost this delusion. They're not very grounded, particularly about that. So that's my experience with it. Just look for that. Mobilizing is actually more malleable. I genuinely believe mobilizing is more malleable. The role, not so much. It might be stubborn. It might delude itself. Might lie to itself. Might think it knows better than you do, despite not really knowing shit and being reactive and being fucking coped. Rust, you're gonna hate this, but I'm beginning to see SX to SE. I've we have decapitated Sexual 2 SE. I don't know if you read the book. I'm not sure if you did, because I did a long time ago, months ago. I read the book because people were like, I was trying to type Maddie Paris, trying to type those people, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna finally decide on this SCE thing. And I decided there's zero chance that in this book we are talking about an SE base and FE demonstrative. Listen, unless you're gonna tell me, listen, RDP, unless you wanna tell me, even I can see it, which Psychosophy type this SCE is gonna be. 2E? FE demonstrative 2E? Really? Like, what? Doesn't have a PY type. Okay, no problem. Correlations aside, sexual 2 is not FE minus. Not at all. And sexual 2 is not FE unconscious. In fact, if you read the book, it is stated over and over and over again that this is a person who knows exactly how to make people feel a specific way. Even when they have histrionic displays, those displays are shallow and those displays are geared to get a specific response, a specific reaction. Very bright, very animated, big smile, big bright energy, positivity. It's all about making you feel a certain specific way. I'll tell you this, sexual 2 SCE, if you see this, this is, you know what we call this? Sexual 8 SCE. That's all it is. That's all it is. I remember the Reddit post about 8-core crying in their car over poetry. Yeah, I remember because I was actually making a video about that shit. Yeah, I remember. I was shocked. I was actually shocked to read something like that. I was genuinely shocked. I mean, imagine being a fucking 8-core and reading this shit. You know, I'm not saying you have to be some like Sigma male. No, no, no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. You can cry. Everyone has emotions. Everyone cries. That's fine. But what insensitive type goes on Reddit and talks about crying in a car? Like that's crazy. That's a bit crazy. That's a bit crazy. That's out there. That's out there, man. This no 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 no. It doesn't mean anything. You know what you said here. It doesn't really mean anything. It's not connected to the SP instinct. It's not connected to really SO instinct. Even 5-core. You know. I mean, to be honest, it can be connected to the fact you don't have much feedback. Maybe you don't have many people around you, but that's where it ends. I'm an LIE, but a bit confused between SO3. Oh, fuck. There are few LIEs in this chat. You should ask them. RDP, can you help this guy with Social 3? Social 3 and SP7? Because it's tricky, man. I've always struggled with this one. I thought he's an SCE, but he's an SCE, but Raven, I talked to Raven about the possibility of him being ILE. So that made me kind of interesting, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I buy SC Super Ego, if I see SC roll. I'm not really sure. Uh, his approach to SC seemed a bit non-normative. It did not seem normative at all. But I'm open. I'm open to the possibility because I don't know Bruce Lee that well. I mean, I've read things about him. I've watched his interviews, but there's not much on him when it comes to interviews. It would still be. There's no such thing as FE demo 2E. There's no such thing. And I'm telling you this as an SCE, as a person typed as an SCE by CSS team. I am an SCE, and I'm telling you, there's absolutely no way an FE. I cannot imagine how even I could possibly be, how that would even work, considering I'm also FE demo. That makes no sense. You know, you cannot have unconscious FE demo and apparently be second E and be focused on being an actor and influencing people's emotions and impacting them. That's not a fucking SCE. I'm sorry. SCEs are charismatic and they're charming. Yeah, sure. Very charismatic. But the energy output of an SCE is much more uncontrolled and much more dynamic than what you'd see from an ESC. That's the reality. We like to think ESCs are just spurgs. They're not just spurgs. Their FE is more controlled than the FE of the SCE. The SCE has a lot of energy, but they're chaotic. You know, this emotionality is chaotic. For the ESC, it's not. It's very intense emotions, but they know exactly what the fuck they're doing. I want to watch your fourth logic. I am usually very stubborn. I could be aggressive when it comes to proof. I type it. What could be the problem? Maybe I'm. Well, the question is, are you coped about logic? Simple as. Think about this. Are you coped about logic? Because your third position is insecure. Simple as. You know? And if you type as an SLE, why the fuck would you type as insecure logic? Another question. If you genuinely type as an SLE, why do you type as third logic? You know, what's the rationale? Because I've seen some SLEs be like, oh, you know, I'm inquisitive and I'm like very interested in abstraction, like logic, but I'm not insecure at all. And I'm very, I don't give a, like, I'm chilling. I'm very, like, I don't give a fuck. It's like, well, then you're not fucking third logic. I mean, you don't give a fuck. You're not insecure about logic. You're chilling, right? You're not, well, you're not third logic then. Hello, Rachel. My question to you: can ENTP, LIE, SX coexist? I left moderation due to the principle the admin would not allow me to post your content because you're too full on. Wow, Rachel. Damn. You left. You left moderation on principle because of that. That is actually fucking. You got balls. You have balls, and you have. That's a solid fucking principle. I mean, fuck, dude. I don't even know what to say. That is crazy. But fuck them. That's all I can say. Fuck them because someone's gonna be pissed. You cannot show someone's content because you're full on or some shit like that. You did well. So that's all I can say. But it's nice to see you here, by the way, posting for the first time. But ENTP LIE does not exist. I'm sorry. Um, Sexual 5 is a very physical type. Okay? So it's very impulsive and very physical, very much focused on immediate gratification and living in the moment. difficult time with foresight and planning and stuff like that. While the LIE is not really that way. They're intellectual type. They're much more aware of consequences. They're much more patient and much more hesitant with bigger foresight. So those two types don't work very well. I think if you think you're an LIE and you think you might be 8, you might look into SP7, for example. Self-preservation 7 can look a bit like 8 for people who are more new or something like that. How do you type other chess players like Magnus? Probably ILI. I mean, from what I've seen of Magnus, he seemed like an ILI to me. What would you type, Dr. Dre? LIE, maybe LIE, something like that. Don't know much about him, but something like that. There's no such thing as FE demo process emotion. I said this. I said this to people many times, and if you type SE base as a two core, it doesn't really matter which one. You are ignoring the core component of Enneagram 2, which, by the way, I think I've argued about this million fucking times, like 6 months ago, 7 months ago. I've pasted this one quote millions of times. The Enneagram 2's core defense mechanism, and this is very important for everyone. The core defense mechanism of Enneagram 2 is social hyperadaptation. Social hyperadaptation. Think about that. Social hyperadaptation while erasing your own needs and desires. Am I going to sit here and now tell you this type is an SE base FI creative? I can't. I'm sorry. There's no such thing as a two core SE base, regardless of fucking social two, right? Social two, sexual two, whatever the fuck. There's no such thing. They are all FE dominant types. They're all FE base and they're all FI ignoring. And that's it. And yeah, that's basically it. Can you differentiate between FV and VF? They're not similar. They're not similar. I would say, I had a period where I'm like, oh, maybe I am like FVEL, no FVLE. I thought I could be maybe second will because I didn't understand the difference, you know. But I realized quickly that FV is very different from VF. I mean, at the end of the day, VF is aggressive will. So it's a person who really is focused on asserting his own desires, and they're more selfish in everything, in their own path. FV is not this way. They're much more adaptable. They can even be servants. They can be servants and they can be followers and stuff like that. For the VF types, they're much more aggressive with their will. So there's a big difference, I've seen V2 V types which can be very good followers and they don't mind it, while first will people will almost be stupid, like be almost dumb, where they will make their life more difficult just so that they will not need to obey by other people's orders or choices. I've seen this shit happen. Fuck, I'm even that way. Oftentimes made my life way more difficult because I refused to do something. I actually had a conversation with my wife, which, to be honest, it hit a mark with me because I don't like to be that way. But she kind of said it very well. We do everything that happens with everything. It's because you want it, even if it's other people's idea. You agree to it. You decide that, okay, we'll do it. And whenever there's something the other person says on their own accord, if it's not coming from you and it's not you who is making the decision, okay, I will do it, you don't give a fuck, you dismiss it. And that opened my eyes, and I'm thinking, wow, that's a very selfish way to live life. And I'm not like I can be giving person, but I realize, that's probably true, and it kind of hurt, like it kind of sucks to hear this, because I don't know, you don't want to be that way. I mean, who the fuck wants to be selfish? You know, who wants to be selfish? But that's the way it was, and I realize it in myself. So fuck. Do you have an order for socionics types? No, I don't really have socionics types. Did you ever try typing Magnus? I typed Magnus as an ILI. Do you believe EIE is only social to Karen Low, Olivia? Yes, I do believe EIE is social too. Do you believe in sexual 5 being a good coordinate? No, I do not believe TI base can be sexual 5. Is MBTI strictly correlated with socionics types instead of, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I'm aware of this. I have been studying for nearly a decade now into various systems. Thank you for your time. I'm going to sub. Thank you so much, Rachel. I have seen you just give me support, and you're generous. All I can say is thank you. You know, keep on doing what the fuck you're doing, and don't allow pricks to dictate what you can or cannot do, as you handled yourself very well in that moderation team. Ross, do you completely disagree with Magnus being at TI Dom? I don't completely disagree with it. I don't see he's as a TI Dom. I don't know why he would be a TI Dom. He seems like an NI base. Very spaced the fuck out. Takes his time thinking about shit. He's not a rational type. Magnus is not super rigid. He's not super precise. He's not frameworky. He takes his time to think. He's more abstract. I don't see him as a TI dome. Yeah, what's up, man? You also forgot to mention they're all only 2. Of course, yeah. They are all of them are 2E for a good reason, and you need to see the correlation here. IE is 1E. Okay, and what is 1E? It's result emotion. That's very important, because I swear to God, if you want to make the fucking SCE be something else than fucking 4E, you have to make it 1E. I'm sorry. I'm not saying it's a good decision, but that's the only other decision, because it has to be fucking result emotion, which is an IE is 1E. It has to be result emotion. While 2E types are always FE bases or FE egos. That's the best. Those types are the best for impacting stuff, and they are the actor. But now fucking SCE, Jesus Christ, butchering my motherfucking type. They added, yeah, I've seen this. Yeah, they added fucking zodiac signs. Yeah. And I said, guys, listen. PDB doesn't give a fuck about anyone. PDB Anyone, okay, because you guys, I've seen people think this. They think like this 9 person, they're in charge of PDB. No, no one is in charge of PDB. None of those moderators or admins there are in charge of PDB. And different companies. PDB is owned by people who don't give a fuck about typology. PDB is owned and managed by people who don't even understand typology. They don't give a fuck. And you know how I know this? Not only I've been told this, right? Secret info, but when you look at the marketing, it makes perfect sense. They started adding premium packets, making it into a dating website, started adding shit no one asked for. Think about this. No one asked for. The typology community did not ask for those things, yet they did improve. They got them. What did they do? Did they add socionics flares? What did the community say? The community said, we want socionics flares. And for anyone who has a brain, that would be the smart, good choice, correct? Anyone can agree. It makes sense. So, how the fuck did they choose to go with zodiac signs rather than socionics? Because it's not about what the fuck's good for this community or what the fuck the community wants. They don't give a shit. They want money. Because PDB is a business. Guys, PDB earns a lot of money daily. It's a business. It's monetized, right? Zodiac signs, no one gives a fuck about them, but they attract more people. And they attract more people to want to be part of the website and buy the premium packets and be part of the fucking PDB community. That's all they give a fuck about. So people are like, oh, PDB doesn't care about us. PDB never gave a fuck. All those people who act like they're in charge, they're not in charge. They are so absolutely are not in charge. But I haven't had the time to inform myself. But would you say VLEF is okay for an ILI? Would I say you can be VLEF and an ILI? No, I wouldn't say that because one V and I base, 2L and I base, I don't see why that would be. And I've seen such mistypes, very common. I had a friend who was an ILI who also thought he's a VLEF social 5. He retyped to LVEF. It's so common. Okay, it's a very common mistype. But no, there's no such thing as one VILI. Hey Iggy, what's up, man? I'm good, man. Just talking with the community. That's all. Submissive EII SP6. I think selfishness is not really the right word for 1B. It's more arrogance. I mean, I really want to help others, but it should be under my own vision. Yeah, and that's I mean, that's how I am. I think I'm generous with my time and I'm generous with my energy and my efforts. I am generous with it. You know, I'm not someone who's gonna be self-obsessed like some people. It's always self-obsessed. I don't know, but it's almost obliviousness to other people's desires. It's true, you know. And when I catch myself being this way, I fix it. I immediately fix it because I don't think it's. I mean, it's not right, you know, because no one is like I'm. Why the fuck would I like my desires objectively be more important? You know, it's shitty thing to say. Like, well, I'm more important. You're not more fucking important. You know, so you have to kind of ground yourself and be like, okay, I'm just one of the fucking people. I'm just one of the people and don't you can't fucking be entitled. There's nothing more cringe than entitlement. So that's how it is. But it's easy to be so ingrained in you, as in like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do it that way. I don't want to do this. That you don't think about the environment. you know. And that's the issue. But I have a friend which is either LSI or ESI. I have an advice for you. Watch my two. I made an LSI video and I made an ESI video recently, literally, yes, 2 days ago, or yesterday, something like that. I made ESI video. Compare those two videos. I'm telling you right now, if you watch them two videos right now, no problem. You will understand the types. You will understand the differences. I have a difficult time differentiating between SP1 and SP3. I can see why. But you have to understand at the end of the day, SP3 is an image type. So that's what you need to think about. Look at one, look at three. Three is still wants to be admired. It does everything for its image and it wants to uphold that image at all cost. So you still see this image obsession. You shouldn't see this shit with the SP1. It's a gut type. So look at that. You know, we like the character from The Boys. His name is what was his name? Marvin. Fucking Mother's Milk. I could never type him as a three core. He doesn't give a fuck about anything related to image. He doesn't give a fuck about image. It's not about image. It's not about this idea of himself. So that's what you need to look. Is it the image? Is it the idea of who you are? Wanting to be recognized for your work and validated and maybe even making sure people view you a certain way or your achievements? That is a sign. Not even self-dualizing as an ESC. Wait, what do you mean self-dualizing as an ESC? In what sense self-dualizing? Because I didn't understand it. What Enneagram types most likely to create 50 fake accounts and attack people? Wow, this sounds like one of the people who I dealt with. What the fuck? What is this? PDB basically. So you're talking about a fucking PDB person. Honestly, it's hard to say what kind you could say sexual for. Can it be sexual for? It can. Uh, Stereotypically, but at the end of the day, who knows, right? It doesn't have to be a sexual for. Can be something else, but definitely third will person. One E and third will, probably. So probably a sexual for. But either way, oh man. Rust is a snake Jupiter, rat Uranus, and a donkey rising Pluto. I like that. Lol, my friends are like this, and they got SCE results. Yeah, this is not an SCE. Can you imagine? Like 1V SE base. Oh my god, he criticized me. I'm gonna make 50 fake accounts and I'm gonna make fun of him. Oh, he hurt my feelings. Hey, I'm crying. Like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Man the fuck up. Stop being a fucking bitch. I swear, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, if I had a friend who behaved this way, I would have called him motherfucking cringe. And you should go to your friend and you should call him. You should say, hey, buddy, you are very fucking cringe. And you should stop being a bitch and stop acting this way because why would you stoop to the level? Why would you behave in this way? What the fuck is going through your head to behave this way? I couldn't do it. I just couldn't fucking do it. If I had a friend like that, I would have to bully him. I would have to bully my own friend because I just couldn't. Wow. Wow. That's fucked up. My mom always described me as angry, impulsive, one wolf, punch a wall, out of line, and whatever I'm saying, change ideas and like that. Impulsive, maybe some SLE, some SLE Chadwick. Do you have a Discord server or some chat room? I don't have a Discord server. I don't. I have a PDB account, and I guess that's the closest, but that's not really a chat room. It's just yeah. What do you type? I don't know what I type, Curtis. Maybe SE base. Maybe SE base. Maybe SLE SP8. I'm not too sure. Selfishness and self-centeredness is more third will. 1V is results oriented. They don't spend much time questioning their self-worth and purpose. I You don't have to question your purpose or even your self-worth to be selfish. As we know, there are many people who are 1V and are very selfish. For example, social 2, very 1V type, very selfish. And in fact, I would actually say social 2 is such a good example of a selfish, often selfish, might not seem that way, but very self-centered type. And to me, in my opinion, arguably one of them, probably the most first will type, according to syntax of love. They are like the blueprint. So I wouldn't say that is true. No, it's more glazing. The way I view this is more like circle jerk in 1V. No, 1V is self-centered. That's the whole point of being 1V. You are focused on your own will and desires. That's called being self-centered, egocentric. You know. Now, if you circle jerk and question your self-worth, oh, what's my self-worth, what are my goals, I want to be this, I want to be that, well, I would agree that's like process will, but you know see, you are an SCE, Rust. You are supposed to be a jock, and you are one, but you're discussing coordinating personalities because you find it interesting, and we all do, abrasive as I may sound. Well, you don't sound abrasive, not at all, but I would never describe myself as a jock. Seriously, I wouldn't actually describe myself as a jock because I don't know, it's one of those, like, I don't know, like growing up, the jock is the type like hyper popular footballer or like football team manager, the team captain, and only circle jerking like gym, and I wouldn't say that's really true. Of course, maybe I can give an impression of it, but I wouldn't describe myself as a jock. Um, but I understand. There's a lot of variety in types. There's a lot of variety in types, and lately I've talked to some of my friends, and they came to me talking about how Martin Luther King was possibly an Enneagram 8 SE. So think about this. You have someone like Martin Luther King who is debated to be 8 core SE, which is kind of insane. If you think about the variety of types, it's insane. Something to think about. Then I've been months. The one book is out already. The one book is out already. Um, it's out. I'm not sure if it's out. Yeah, I mean it's out. You can buy it, and I'm sure there are some people on PDB who have the sources for it already. You'd have to look because I'm not certain. Enneagram 8 book, on the other hand, it's not out and it will be released in 2025. I'm serious. It will be released in 2025. I have intel. One of my friends contacted the people at the publishing company, and then they did confirm 2025. 8 book. Are you still SE? No, 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 no. No, that's SE Sexual 6. That's very old. I am EII, SP6, breedable wife. Mhm. That's what the fuck I am. I know this person that created five fake accounts to defend themselves whenever they were offended because they were scared of defending themselves and causing conflict. I mean, to me, it's. I'm not even the typing is not as important as the thought process, the logic. The thought process is fascinating. So I will create 5 accounts and I'm gonna defend myself, but I'm not gonna use my main account because I don't want conflict, but I'm still causing conflict just on my different account. You know, it's so. I mean, the way this looks to me, it's not really about the conflict because if they did not want conflict, they wouldn't argue on the other account. It's not really about the conflict; it's about the perception, maybe, of this person. But very, very interesting. Um, Kind of reminds me of Nina Drama in the UFC. She's a journalist, and people were talking shit about Nina. She came under, she defended herself from herself under a different name. She she created a burner account defending herself. Like, no, she's great. Nina is great, and she's doing this, and she's that. She's the best journalist, and she got exposed for that, and it was bad, man. It was not good. It was not good. It's very bad. If you're gonna defend yourself, do it on your main account at least, bro. Like, come on, man. Don't be hiding under someone else. Like, this guy's actually based. Like, Rust is actually really based, guys. Rust, this is one of the Rust accounts. I'm the only guy showing support. You gotta make sure no one knows. It's funny. It's really funny. When I do describe you as one, I mean, don't worry. Listen, Mesa, I'm not easily offended by being called a joke. It's not that it's I find it offensive. It's not. I can see why I can give that impression. I mean, fuck. If anything, I can even give an impression of someone who's brain dead, or someone who might not be the person you would want to bring to a party. I can see why you might think that. Of course, it's not true. I'm not that kind of a person, but I can see that. I see why. I see why. I completely see why, and I know you mean it well, and I kind of do see it. It's funny because if I was an archetype back in school, it wouldn't be a joke. It would be something else. Who the fuck would? Who knows what that would be like? A bit of a rebellious kid or something? I don't know. Nothing that special though. Was Bruce Lee? I think I do type him as a social 8 SCE. I'm open to ILE 7, but I'm not. He was very interesting because when I read his story, he used to beat up people. He used to be a leader of his own gang when he was a teenager, and he used to challenge other gangs, and he used to fucking beat the shit out of them. So when I was reading that, I'm like, fuck me, like this is their social late shit. Yo, oh my god, Zap with the moderator. Oh fuck that. He's back with the mod. He has fucking mod powers 1 year later. That's funny. What's up, man? It's been a while. It's been a while. What do you type yourself now, man? It was IE, right? It was IE or something. What's your typing now? Why am I attracted to evil men? Lex, as someone who is very good at psychology, yeah, no, but on a serious note, there is fascination with. Okay, why do you think there's so many people interested in serial killers, people who commit vicious crimes? Like, why did Ted Bundy have so many fangirls? You know, like he was a despicable human being, the worst of the worst, yet he had fangirls. And that's an extreme example, but if someone like this can have it, why is it that it's possible? Now, generally, if you talk about evil men, you probably talk about bad men. It's probably because bad men have certain attributes and characteristics that are seen as attractive to you. They might not care about the social norms. They might disregard social norms. They might be dominant, or they might be assertive. They might be very confident, maybe even arrogant, right? So you are looking at those characteristics that you might like, and but those men are evil, you know. So it's not that you like evil men; it's that you like some of the attributes that some bad guy can have at times. Okay, so it's not as some people say women like bad men. It's not really. They like certain qualities, and often those qualities are shown by a bad man. But you can be a good man, and you can have those qualities and be as attractive to the woman. So that's that. I mean, that's the rationale, the psychology, you know, behind it. I also think because, at least in the case of the serial killers and the Ted Bundys, and there's a sexual arousal when it comes to violence, you know, when it comes to danger. So I think a man who's bad or who's evil, or he is dangerous, he is unpredictable, and that can evoke some sexual arousal, sexual attraction, even in some cases. I think there is even a condition. There's a condition to describe this. I mean, psychology is so interesting. That's not enough, Losh. That's not enough information. But maybe weak NI or some shit. Maybe weak NI or something. But I would not type someone based on a trait like this. One trait, I wouldn't type someone. It's risky, you know. To be honest, based on external appearance, you and Joe Rogan are the most chill eight I know, Rust. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I think I'm chill. I think my wife my wife said, I told her like, I think I'm easy to get along with. I think, at least, I'm not unhealthy. I'm pretty healthy. And and we talked about that, and she's like, if like living with you compared to many other people, it would is very easy. The only problem would be maybe if you are like very organized person, and you need, maybe you can find me a bit problematic because I'm kind of easygoing. I don't, you know I don't sweat about things. Things need to be hyper clean, things need to be crazy. Like I'm balanced about it. I'm moderate about it, but I'm not crazy about it. So maybe some people who are very like clean freaks, they might find my attitude a bit too annoying with it. But other than that, uh, she said that, it would be chill. It would be chill. But thank you. I think every eight goes through a period of time in their life, especially when they're young, that they're not chill. But I like to think I can be chill. Who the fuck knows anyway, man? My NE is fucked. But who knows who the fuck, right? What do you think about SP4 Bruce Lee? I'm pretty sure he's a gamma. I don't see Bruce Lee as an introvert. I don't see him as a rational type. Bruce Lee was described as very, very impulsive, very extroverted. He is very extroverted, very charismatic, very social, very social. It's weird to see it. I don't see it. What is the type you've historically gotten along with the least? Shit, man. I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question, but it's a very difficult question because socionics wise is a bit more difficult. I honestly kind of feel like it just depends on the person, because like with Enneagram, um, I can get along with one course. I think I didn't know those people personally, and maybe if I did, I would it would be harder to get along with them. Like Enneagram One, I think it could be a bit problematic for me because the rigidity and the seriousness and they're very very demanding and very rigid. I could see that being a bit problematic, and I couldn't probably wouldn't enjoy being around them as much, if I was to be closer with them. But I go along with nines. I go along with eights. I have 8 friends. I have 8 friends. Well, I have 8 core friends. No issues whatsoever. I know no 7 cores. No issues. It's more so that I know people of types that I get along with, and I know people of those types that I don't get along with. So it just depends on the person, I don't have any history that points like, oh, what, this type don't get along with me at all. You go a Discord server? No, no, I don't have a Discord server. It would be too chaotic. It would be too messy. The reality is, with Discord servers, I can understand why people might want them, but I mean, think about it. What the fuck, man. Everyone gets in a share circle and everyone jerks someone off. That's what it is, right? We make a roster typology, huge server, huge, let's say hundreds of people, and the chaos that would be there would be immense. Now, to control that chaos, we would need to make it more selective. We would need to have mods. We would have to make sure the shit is under grasp and under control. Okay, but me being me, if I create something, if I create a community, if I create a server, if I create my own thing, I'm very invested. I'm very invested and I'm very, very hands on with everything. So it's a problem because I would be putting so much energy into maintaining this framework, this community, but putting more energy into this than making content, putting more energy into this than making content, which wouldn't be very smart, I think. And in general, it's I think Discord servers bring out the worst of people in big groups. um I like a Discord server, but for trusted individuals, for my people, I like it. Yeah, for very close people, friends, tight group, I like it. But a big server, I've had those, man. I've had servers. I've had a server with 9,000 people, 8,000 people. I had that. And let me tell you, it becomes a fuckfest. It's uncontrollable and it dies every single time. Every single time at the end of the journey, you are unhappy with the people you let in and the state of the community that it has become. It's a fuckfest and a degenerate pit. So, fuck it. Right, Rust. PDB types you as 70% neurotic now. 70% neurotic. I mean, that's pretty impressive. That's very impressive because I am not neurotic. In fact, I am low neuroticism. So I'm not surprised 70% neurotic. They should have listen, man. If you will let's say like this, if you're going to stop making nonsense, go full in. Why 75%? Just go 100%. Just go 100%. In moderation, very high. Anger, very high. Anxiety, very high. Depression, oh my God. He's always depressed. Very high. Vulnerability, oh my God. Whew, very high. Fuck it. Just go on 100%. My answer was literally Russ, but more simplified. I give you a cookie. You managed to do something I did, but even more simplified. I currently type as IE station 7, but I'll be type my. What is your opinion? I don't think you're an EIE. I would say there's 0% chance you're an EIE. Zero. You are not FE base. You are not rational type at all. EIE is more rigid, more serious, more collected, more organized. You're not an EIE. You are. We thought we thought you were an EIE. We thought that is what an EIE was, but you're not an EIE. You're a very good example of an IE. FE demonstrative, unconscious as fuck. Very good example of unconscious FE, right? Very intense, but kind of crazy, kind of random. Again, SLE is described as aggressive, impulsive, and hurtful to others. Why SLE in this community, by the example of Robin and his mother, is being sold as an urban. No, as I would say, SLEs can be aggressive. Yeah, SLEs can be aggressive. Would I say that SLEs are? I think. Listen, man, it's relative. It's relative. When an SLE compared to like an EII, he's overall aggressive. Yeah, but I know an SLE, he's chill in a way, right? He's kind of I like him. I like him. Hello, I like to spend time with him. Yeah, really chill guy, but also not chill. Also someone who will really make sure you, if you fuck with them in any way, it will end badly for you. And he's that type of a person. For example, I'm not. Like I'm more likely to kind of tell him, you have to calm down. Like don't do it. Like relax. Like nothing happened. You don't need to fuck them up. You don't need to beat the shit out of them. Just chill with it. Like, let's not let's let's talk it out. He's like, no, I'm not gonna talk it out. They meant something by what they said, by what they did. I will butcher them like a pig. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay. So I think SLEs are not really aggressive overall. Like, maybe they're more chill in their energy, not as, I think it's at SEs who can seem more aggressive, but the SLE is more, if you fuck with them or if they have a problem with you, they will be the ones who will act on aggression without a doubt. You know, they are impulsive. That's true. I would say they are impulsive. There's no way. There's no way around it. If you're an SE base, you are impulsive. Hurtful to others. I mean, everyone's hurtful to others. You know, everyone is hurtful to others in some type of way. If you're an LIE, you are hurtful to people. If you're an SEE, you are hurtful to people in many ways. So, that doesn't mean much, I think, because many types can be this way. Joe Rogan, SLE. Joe Rogan is an SEE. I think Joe Rogan is actually an SEE. People type no. Yeah. Vlix is correct. Like Joe Rogan, FI Polar. No, no. Joe Rogan is he's very good with people. Joe Rogan is very good with people. Like, he has no way FI Polar. My mom would find you annoying. She's so yeah, she would find me annoying, I think. Uh, she would find me annoying. Um, that's kind of people that would find me a bit difficult to deal with. Not because I'm like crazy or something, but she's probably like uptight. She's more serious. She wants, and I'm more like, yeah. You need to relax. Are FVEL very likely to be rebellious? I wouldn't say they're particularly rebellious, especially not like VFEL. Do you get along with six cores? It's miss or hit for six cores, I think. For me, with a six core, it's kind of like very annoying. They can be very, very annoying. One of the most rigid people I've met, like logically. I had the biggest arguments with Enneagram 6, the biggest arguments, but I also like them. I have friends. I have friends who are six cores, and I like them. But logical discussions, they're often very painful, and they're often we clash. We can clash a lot. Oh, yeah. What would be the best, guys? I didn't mean like eight fucking friends. I meant like I have eight core friends. I have eight friends. Man, you fucking guys are funny. What would be the best anagram fit for VLEF? I would say social 7. What are I like this. What the fuck is going on? Oh my god, it's lagging, bro. Fuck. Sorry, guys. There was a question. There was a question I liked. What are the things you need to most feel a sense of psychological dignity? I like this question, but what does psychological dignity mean? Psychological dignity, as in feel psychologically balanced, psychologically fulfilled, psychologically right? What do you mean? How Ross, what do you type? Donald Trump, I think, is a very odd combination, and I don't like this take anymore. He's an 8 core. He is an 8 core. I agree, and I also agree with you. Social 3, SLE. I don't think it makes any sense. What's your moral alignment? I don't know. I don't know. Um, because with the normal alignment, it's a mix. It's a tricky thing because it's like chaotic neutral. Then there is the chaotic evil, and then there's the chaotic good, and it's kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of like in between chaotic good and a chaotic neutral. It's like there was alignment that was in between them that I felt like fit me very well, but I forgot the name. It's a new alignment system. Maybe if someone knows it, some of you guys might know it. There is like impure, not impure. Some I forgot, but something like that in between. Oh shit. Of course, Zap, man. There's no issue, man. I'm glad I can help. Do you think Social 3 could work for Mr. Beast? I don't think Social 3, maybe. Uh, if I was to think so, maybe like a Self Preservation 3, like maybe Self Preservation 3, maybe like a 7 core. He kind of gives me 7 core vibes. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I mean, listen, because we know what happened with we know what happened with them, right? He became like he got exposed. Like, okay, he got exposed. And what fucking initially, I thought to myself, why are people like so surprised about a guy who is an entertainer that he fakes his fucking videos? Like, of course he fakes his videos. That's normal. Like, would you thought he's like a fucking saint? But when I was doing more research, he doesn't just fake them. He fakes fucking everything. He fakes the contestants. He gives awards to his own friends. There's like no one's winning. Like people don't win those contests. And that's where I'm thinking, this is fucked up. This is wrong, Like this is fucked up. Like, okay, I understand, you will fake it, you will like use CGI, you will make it more entertaining, edited. I get that. I get that. I wouldn't be angry at that. That's normal. But like you're gonna like go to the public and be like, yeah, we're gonna you can have 100 random people who will win it, and it's none of them are random. All of them are your friends, and all of your friends won because the game is fucking rigged. That is a bit of a fucking problem. That's a problem. I mean, that's being a scammer. That's what the fuck being a scammer is. And he fell victim to the basic thing of wanting more. Maybe that's why gluttony can be so fitting. He wanted more. I mean, do you think this guy needs so much money? Like, why the fuck is he doing all of this? Does he need 250 million subscribers? Does he need it to survive? Why is he doing this? He didn't need to cheat like this. He didn't need to scam like this to be famous or to make a living, to live a good life. But it's not fucking enough. It's not enough. What made you change from SLE to SCE? Was it a test or evaluating? It was not a test. It was because I don't think I would ever get an SCE on a test, to be honest with you. It was re-evaluating. I asked my friends. I was kind of skeptical. I'm like, yo, maybe I am an SCE. They kind of told me, "Nah, bro, come on, I don't think so." But I kind of brought up the subject a few times. after being typed in classical socionics, I got typed in classical socionics as an SEE, and I was like, I don't give a fuck about that, you know. But then I looked into classical socionics, and I've started thinking, okay, maybe. So I reevaluated my type, and it became very clear, very fast that I was not FI polar, um, because I was not struggling with a FI. You know, like people struggle with it. It's a pain. You know, I'm not struggling with relationships in a way where I'm so uncomfortable and no, I'm very good. I can be very good with people. I'm very good with people. I can be very expressive. I'm very good at understanding the psychology of people and how to kind of play into it, you know? Like I know those things. I'm the guy who helps his friends with relationships, how people might feel. Um, Even my SLE friend came to me, and when he talked about some serious shit, I kind of told him about his potential thought process and the subconscious feelings in a way where he told me his fucking therapist couldn't do it. His own therapist couldn't fucking give him this answer, and I was able to do it. No FI polar individual fucking does this, and I was always like more rebellious against like institutions and rules, and I want to have freedom. I don't want to be restricted. I was never very good being pragmatic in a sense where uh, I just wasn't very that logical. I was studying to be an electrician. I was very bad at it. I didn't know just shit that many people with high TE should be good at. I just wasn't good at. I instead went to teaching English, and I kind of went to teaching English because of people, because I like talking to people, and I should have known. It was obvious, but I got misled by a WSS, because Ibrahim thinks I'm a fucking beta ST. I think he does type me as a beta ST, you know, because I have rigid TI or some bullshit, which by the way is not even it's not even sign of TI ego. There's a lot of messages, guys. Sorry, it's a lot of messages. What do you think about SLI women? I don't think the SLI women would give a fuck. Honestly, I don't think he's gonna give a fuck. I don't think they would care. Did you watch the second season? I found it quite boring. I actually did not watch the whole thing. I have 3 episodes to binge. I did not watch the last 3 episodes, which is kind of telling. Probably because I've heard things about it and I'm not as eager to see it, which is sad because I really loved the first season. I was a fan of the first season. So, what the fuck they did, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. Damon's character, I guess they wanted to give him depth, but kind of seemed meaningless in the end because he came back. I don't know. By my question about dignity, I meant what you require to feel a sense of self respect. At what point do you feel like an indignant dog? What do you require to feel like a king? I'm not sure. I'm not sure because I don't really think about this kind of thing, but I don't know. I think what helps. I genuinely think carrying yourself with self respect. Like you have to have inherent belief in your own value, and that is what helps. I think if you have inherent belief of yourself as a certain type of individual, you will carry yourself accordingly. And you will not allow for situations or people to treat you differently or bad in a way you believe that shouldn't be the case. And I think self respect is the one we ourselves embody. Like, how do I feel self respect? People might ask. Like, how do I do that? How do I. It's like, well, how do you view yourself? I mean, how do you view yourself? I mean, do you believe you're worthy of respect? Right? So you don't want to feel like an indignant dog. You want to have the peace of mind. You want to feel like carry yourself with dignity. Carry yourself with respect. Don't stoop to certain level of behavior. Like certain things, I don't do certain things. I don't engage in because of that. Because I think, yeah, like it's fucking pathetic. Like it's not me. It's not me. It doesn't reflect who the fuck I am. So that's how. And also, I think living according to my passions and according to my dreams and living according to what I want is also very important, because that's how you feel like a fucking indignant dog when you are under someone's boot, right? When you are enslaved by someone in some type of way, they strip your autonomy, they take your life, they take your freedom. In a sense, that's what prison is, like, right? Like, you go to prison, you're basically a fucking dog. You don't matter, you don't have any freedom, you're nothing. Now, it doesn't have to be as extreme, but people are often in situations where they feel like they have no control over their life because someone else is trying to take it from them. So carry yourself with dignity and respect because of how you perceive yourself. You deserve respect, of course. Why the fuck shouldn't you? Okay, why the fuck shouldn't you? And also, don't let anyone live life according to what you want, to what you believe. If you don't believe in something, don't do it. If you believe in something, do it, regardless, even if they might not fucking like it. Not saying it's damaging, but they might not appreciate it, they might not agree with it. And when you do those things, when you live according to what you truly want, you will feel in sync with yourself constantly. It's constant. It's not going to be like, oh, sometimes I have no self-respect. No, you will be defined by self-respect. So I think this is an important lesson. I think that the way you view yourself will be reflected in what you allow, what behaviors you allow. And you should never tolerate shit. You should never fucking tolerate shit. And yeah, also living life according to your dreams and to who you are, and being a person, being your own person. Because I've seen people lose this. I've seen people lose themselves for other people, or in relationships or anywhere. They lose themselves. It's like this person, they don't fight for their own desires anymore. They lost the spirit. There's nothingness in them. And that's how they lose respect for themselves, because they don't have that. You need to fight for yourself, and you need to discover that. Yeah. I remember you were doing some interviews with some other typology nerds. Will you be doing the problem with those interviews where nearly every person in the interview came out to be fucking mistyped, which is kind of why I stopped doing it, because I thought, what's the point? I'm gonna do it. I don't know, like, especially if it's meaningful. Like, oh, an interview with a sexual 4, but then this person is not a fucking sexual 4. So what am I doing to the audience, really? I'm telling you sexual 4, but I know this person is not a sexual 4 6 months later. So I'm not being truthful with the information. This information won't help you. If anything, this information will lie to you. This information will mislead you. So what do? I delete that shit. I delete that shit. That's the only way. Because I'm only feeding your misconceptions about the type by being one of those people like, oh yeah, this person is sexual for. They're not. They're not. They shouldn't have the platform. So, you know. Jesus. Ow. Huh. Just reading a lot, guys. Sorry, I'm just reading a lot. Who is Chris Tyson? I don't know who the fuck that is. A lot of messages. Do you think Skipper? Yeah, he might have definitely LIE, but I'm not sure about the rest. This is funny question. Russ, do you sometimes feel like you would rather be a logical type rather than ethical, and the ethical types are useless and cringe? I have the same thought sometimes. I think when I go out in the real world and I'm supposed to deal with the fucking world, like, I'm actually supposed to deal with shit on my own, like more logical matters, pragmatic matters. I have sometimes those reflections where I'm thinking, wow, like if I was an LSE, like everything that is difficult for me now would be easy. So I think to myself, like, what the fuck? Like, the whole world is about TE and TI. Everything. School is about TE, TI. Fucking education, TE, TI. Government shit, TI, TE. Everything is fucking TE and TI. If I just had those things in my grasp, everything would be easy. But instead, so many problems of mine growing the fuck up worse because of those limitations. So it's kind of like, dude, wow, would be kind of fun to be a logical type. Would be really fun. Would be really, really fun because I wouldn't be so fucking retarded in many, many ways. Um, but I try to counter that. I rely on people to get the logical things done. So preferably have a big network of people, preferably be and have enough influence where you can actually do that, so you don't need to do that shit because you have people who will do that shit for you. But it's still, yeah, I think logical types just have it. I don't know, they, at least in the world, they seem to have it way easier. I have seen sexual, yeah, actually, Vlix, uh, some of my friends were arguing about him being an LSC. Apparently, they don't think he has any FI super ego. Who the fuck's calling me? Jesus Christ! Give me a second. But they think he's stuck in the past. He has a super ego of another type of LSC. Sorry, guys. Just getting fucking phone calls left and right. What is your opinion about Bucha? I don't see Bucha as a sexual aid because FI creative, I don't see it. I mean, I made a video about SLE. He seems very, very FI vulnerable. FI polar as fuck. I mean, give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Hello. Was that guy you typed as an 8 in one of your interview videos turned out to be a sexual 6? No. He turned out to be a self-preservation 8. Very, very SP8, but not a sexual 6. 6 fix, but not sexual 6. You need to understand, sexual 6s are more intellectual. He is more impulsive, and way too grounded for that shit. Still, we're very, very good friends. We're very good friends, and he is. Yeah, you don't want to fuck with them. That's for sure. You don't want to fuck with them. As a logical type, I mean, the grass is greener on the other side. I have my logical type friends who tell me, "Oh my god, bro, like it's so OP to be you. It's so OP to be an ethical type, bro. It's so fucking nice." And I'm the same way about them. Wow, it's so nice to be you. It's so nice to be in logical type. Prank call. Nah, nah. It's it's not my. It's not. It's few. My wife, my mom. Fucking people be calling my ass. What's your favorite music genre? Um, man, if you saw my music, you would definitely think like, yep, SCE. But my music is almost crazy in how diverse it can be. Like I swear to God, right? I'm gonna open my Spotify. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna tell you my what more I have, what playlists I have. So I have playlists like old school, where I have all the old school shit. And this old school playlist, I have like no face, no none, no face, no none, no face, no face, no number, no face, no number. Modern talking, brother Louis, sherry lady, right? I love that shit, dude. Oh, no face, no name, no number. Da 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 da. Burning in my heart, voyage, voyage. I like that shit. Voyage, voyage, big in Japan. Du, du, du. What does the sun? It's my life, right? Ma Baker, Bonnie M. I like that shit. So that's old school. Think about it now. That's old school. Then, believe it or the fuck not, I have Toxic. Britney motherfucking Spears. Yep. I know. Crazy. Toxic, Work Bitch, Poker Face by Lady Gaga, Bad Romance, Womanizer, Mad Hatter, Bad Bitch, of course. Then I have Mayhem, huge. This is huge. I have I Stand Alone by Godsmack. I have ACDC. I have Linkin Park, Rage Against the Machine. I have Led Zeppelin, Arctic Monkeys, Skrillex, Disturbed, RZA, Crystal Method, Drowning Pool, Guns N' Roses, Muse, Nirvana, Jay-Z, right? Prodigy, Limp Bizkit, Dope, Cell Dweller, like all kinds of shit. Then in the Impact, I have rap. And in Impact, I have Dr. Dre, Mockingbird, right? Eminem, Eminem, Ex Ambassadors, Matafix, Sean Paul, Fort Minor, Hush, D12, Roy Jones, Peya, Buster Rhymes, D12, Paluch, Mo Eminem, Roddy Rich, Grandson. I love Grandson. That he's epic. I have plenty of shit. Some melancholy. I have some melancholy. Like I have some fucking Nirvana. I have some Chainsmokers. I have some Lana Del Rey. Some Skylar Grey. Dude, I have fucking everything. I have rock, metal. I have everything, dude. Have you ever heard of Smile Guide? I have never heard of Smile Guide. I remember you interviewing a sexual EIE. They type as a sexual 4. Sexual 4 right now. ESI. I typed him as a sexual 4 ESI. What is TI Polar like? Do you have an example what it could be a challenge? Man, it's hard to know what the fuck it's like, because that's my life. But I would say very, very sensitive to restrictions by hierarchies, restrictions by limitations, restrictions by positions, in an organized fashion, working in an organized fashion or organization under in a certain hierarchy, and trying to operate in that's very difficult. I very obviously the rebelliousness. I often can be. I feel like I can be very rational person, which is surprising. People would not think that, like, oh, you must not. I can be a rational person, level-headed, but when I believe in things, uh, I feel like I come to conclusions quickly. I feel like I take shortcuts. I create stereotypes. I feel like logical stereotypes. I think I can become combative logically, if I believe something to be true, to the point where I'm irrational. I almost become fucking irrational. Like I don't listen to reason. So it's really difficult to argue with me in those moments. But stuff like that, I'm generally a person who wants to do his own thing. I hate, like, my wife once told me, like, Rust, like Rust, but yeah, she says, you have such aversion when it comes to working for someone, under someone. You can't do it. You would rather do anything else to avoid that. And it's almost this such a huge aversion. I can't do it, so I do everything, or self-employment. Everything I do is on my own. I don't know. Even though it can be hard, even though I find it easy for me, but hard would be to try to adapt to the different situations and work under someone. That would be hard. Even the thought of that causes me such fucking discomfort. I can't. The thought of that makes me so uncomfortable. Not because I want to have power. It's not about that. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. It makes me very uncomfortable. Are you gonna make a video about each other dichotomies? Made me understand the types way more. You know what's funny? I might. I actually might. And Ichazo made me understand and appreciate things a bit more, which is, it's surprising to say, but it's good to say. But especially with Enneagram 8, it helped. Types like that helped because it shows the depth and it shows the nuance. And there are some shows that I've already watched where I'm like, wow, this person represents this point very well. And I would, it would be kind of cool to make like a each other eight, and talk about the duality, the Puritan and the libertine together, and how it shows itself, showing examples based on the psychological profile of a character. That would be kind of fucking dope. So I will think about it, but I need to feel more confident. I need to feel more confident. I need to feel more like I can pull it off. I need to feel like I can do it. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Because that's the biggest one, the confidence thing. Like, you need to feel like you can do it. You can say it, and you know what the fuck you're talking about. So I feel like I maybe will study a bit more, and then. Do you listen to famous Kozak? I don't even know who the Kolki book. I don't even know who the fuck that is. That's a famous person? Oh my god. Red Hot Chili Peppers, yes. Yes, Nirvana, yes. Bro, like, why the fuck, like, people be laughing at my ass, but it's true. My wife calls me a fucking boomer. She's like, "You are a boomer. Like, the songs you listen to often, you're a boomer." But I'm gonna tell you guys something. I feel like that influence of the boomerism. I got that boomerism disease, and I think the boomerism, my father gave it to me. My, my father gave it to me. My father, born in 52, rest in motherfucking peace, right? Born in 52, boomer. My father was a boomer of the highest order. Not even a boomer, probably something. Who the fuck knows, right? But either way, he had the boomerism about him. And he loved that shit. He used to play ACDC, Highway to Heaven, right? Led Zeppelin, and I feel like I was fucking programmed to be a boomer. That's what happened, Fuck. Why don't you stream more? I used to stream more. I used to stream. I think every week, every other week, and I will go back to it. I was a bit busy with stuff, and I had a surgery, so I couldn't stream. Yeah. What the fuck? That's funny. You guys are funny. You guys are funny. The IE Apollo. Yo, Invictus, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm not saying this because I'm an SCE, which I like to think. I'm not saying this because I'm an SE. But I feel like the IEE TI Polar is what you think of when you think TI Polar. You think of TI Polar. That's when you think of IEE TI Polar. Because I feel like people sometimes will think like SCE TI Polar is the same way as IE. Like, like I'm not like the most stereotypical TI Polar in a way where people in the Western think. Like, oh, he doesn't give a fuck about categories. He doesn't give a fuck. He's stupid. He doesn't have, whoa, right? He's not rigid with categories at all. He doesn't give a fuck. No, like, that's not true at all. Uh, I feel like SCE's TI Polar can almost seem, they can give an impression of TI Ego, as in like the stereotype of TI Ego. That's at least my perception of it. What each other points are most likely? Listen, Jason, I'll tell you this because there was this campaign on PDB talking with people that the points are very different. But I was talking to people, I was talking even to people who are very deep into Ichazo. His name is American Pragmatist. Very good guy. Maybe you've seen him. Makes great posts. He actually helped me type myself in Ichazo. And he kind of does state that the points are the same. As in, like, he thinks that the points reflect accurately to every type. Okay, so like social 3 would be like a P3. Okay, like that's how it is. I'm not saying that there's no exceptions, but that's the thought process. It might be that that's what it is. If you're a social 3, you might be point 3. I feel like it people are misunderstanding, because, for example, I think the 8 Ichazo 8 suffered the most from it, because people are not understanding Naranjo's perspective of the types, because it's not that different from each other. It's not. It's really not. For example, with the 8, you see all the elements. Same with each other. But they kind of see one side and they think, oh, it's moral and it's moralistic, it's critical, it's judgmental, it cannot be. And Naranjo 8, it's like, well, but Naranjo 8 is this way. He even describes it this way. Naranjo describes it as a type who criticizes others, but when people criticize them, now that's not, they don't accept that shit, which is, by the way, the same shit that the P8 does. Hypocritical nature of the P8. So it's the same thing. I feel like people are stuck on the dichotomies and they don't see the big picture. The dichotomies are together, they're intertwined. If you're a 3-core, you have 2 dichotomies, they're intertwined. All of those things are working together in synchronization, creating a type. So it's not like, well, I am this type, but I'm only this one part of this type. It's like, well, then you're not this type, you know? I just feel like there's more to discover with each other, and I feel like with over time the correlations will get easier and people will see the connections between Naranjo types and each other types. Yeah, my father was an LSE. It's better than the church music. I'm fucking dude. I agree. I agree. And I loved Michael Jackson. Oh my god, dude. Oh my, I loved Michael Jackson. I was like, oh my dude, Michael Jackson. I used to like, beat it, and fucking Billie Jean. Oh my god, fuck, dude, he was legendary. I remember watching him. If there was like one person I would like go to a concert, it would like be Michael Jackson. I don't know. It just seems so iconic. So, but I agree with you. Now the music is. I don't like the new rap. Yeah, I'm a big into rap. I'm big into like new metal, rock. But the new rap, it's like the voices and the style. It seems random. There's no rhyming. There's no. It doesn't hit my ear the same way. The message is stupid. You know, as you said, sex, money, partying, killing gangs. It's the music videos are cringe. Like it's the same shit all the time. Chicks with big asses, big tits, and it's like I don't. Fucking what is this cringe? And you showing this to the young population. This is the influence that you want people to be exposed to. My thing of myself is kind of rebellious and even leader-like. This is not. Listen, okay. When it comes to SE, the best way, okay, you need to look at appearance, objective, like appearance of objects, your own appearance, your looks, your aesthetics, beauty, everything, resources, money, willpower. That's what you look for. What's your relationship with that kind of thing, right? With SI, it's sensations, it's hedonism, it's sensations of your body, it's how comfortable you feel, how it's your internal physical sensation. That's what you look for. You know, you not being you slacking off and not being cool with punching your body, I guess can be a sign of like what, maybe like third physics. But even then, who the fuck might be okay with punching their body? What, masochistic people? So don't look for details. Sometimes people come to me and they ask for very details. Hey, Rust, listen, I was pissing when I was standing. Actually, I don't piss when I'm sitting down. Which element is it? It's like, bro, it's there's no answer for that. You need to look at the big picture. If you want to decide if you're an SE, if you have SE or SI, which you, by the way, you have both, you have to realize that you have both. You have to look at what causes you discomfort, what you're confident in, what you are flexible with, what do you think about a lot, how nuanced is your perspective on the element. But don't confuse SC with just being a leader or SC with just being rebellious. It's not necessarily like this, you know? What do you guys think of subtypes for Psychosophy? Um, I think fun. I personally think fun. I personally think cool. Helps you elaborate on some of your differences between different manifestation of volition. I think they're pretty good. Should you rely on your subtypes? For example, never justify your typing with subtypes. That's why I think you should be able to justify your type normally, but the subtypes give you a bit of a different manifestation, some different traits. I like it. Do you listen to Queen? I like Queen. I like Queen. Do I have Queen on my fucking list? I don't think so. Which, by the way, thank you for saying. I should add it. I should add Queen in my. I should also Eagles. I should fucking add the Eagles. Thank you. Fuck me, the Eagles. I should have thought of that. The Eagles. Have you listened to Eminem's new album? I didn't. I will be honest with you. I'm not the biggest fan of new Eminem ever since really I liked Not Afraid. Those last songs from 2009, 2010. I liked it. Lose Your no Lose Yourself was much earlier, but there was another one that he made around the 2009 period, which I really liked. But the new one, like Rap God and Venom, and I really didn't like them much. I don't know. I love Slim Shady. I love Slim Shady. Obviously, it's, really Slim Shady, really Slim Shady. Um, out of the closet, out of closet, Mamo, some bullshit like that. Superman, I like that shit. So. Have you read any books? Um, I haven't read. I have read one physical book. Actually, no, I have read one book entirely in my life. One book entirely. And that book was actually a psychological book. It was about psychology of like the serial killers, inmates, people who commit crime. I was very much interested into the human behavior and the explanation. It's very interesting. I don't know why I liked it so much because it was trying to break down the people. It was very, very interesting. But other than that, I mean, I read Naranjo books. I read the books entirely, sat down and entirely read them. No, but I read a lot of them, I would say, and enough to know. Like Sexual 2, I read a lot. Section 7, I read quite a bit. Yeah, that's kind of it. But I wouldn't say I read a lot of fucking books. I'm more of a, I don't know, read, get the information that I like, that I find interesting, circle jerk it, but not obsess about, like, tried reading fiction. It was a bit hard for me to read fiction. Um, Stuff related to psychology, I've noticed. If there is a kind of a book I could read, stuff related to psychology. Charlie XCX. I will look for this. MBTI stereotypes about intuitive types, bad at sports and physical activities. No. I would say no. I would say personally no. I would say no. It's a stereotype. Very very big stereotype. I mean, I know an IE who has slapped, beaten up more people than any other SC base I have known. Think about this again. I know an IEE, I know an ENFP who has beaten more people than any SC base I have ever known in my life. Think about that. An intuitive person, extremely intuitive, beat the shit out of countless individuals. What does that mean? And you know what's funny? I used to type this person a fucking sensing type. Because of course, how can this person be this way and not be a sensing type? But no, that's a stereotype. Those are just stereotypes. Yes, intuitive types can be good at physical stuff. That's it. SC ego doesn't contradict. No, no, it doesn't. It doesn't contradict. I think you bring fresh wind into the community by not placing any type on the pedestal. I like to think so. I don't believe I idealize any type. I for some reason, I don't know why. I'll be honest with you. People sometimes would say I idealize Enneagram 8 and I like put it on pedestal. And sometimes I would think about this, and I would think, I'm like, well, how? Like, because I'm the person who talks about the flaws of the type. I'm the person who talks about the weaknesses of the type. I'm the person who talks about the realities of the type. But I idealize. I put it on pedestal. What weird? Because I've never. I don't remember ever doing that. So it's nice that you mention it. You know, but who knows? Who knows if I like to think personally that, yeah, I don't idolize any fucking type. I don't put any type on pedestal. At the end of the day, to me, typology is about showing the brutal truth behind the type. Brutal fucking truth. That's the way. Showing true types for what they are. And listen, sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes I had my bias many times. I had my bias many times when I was creating videos. Very odd, many times. My own bias, many times. But I feel like with time, I was able to remove it, and I was able to remove it because of the people I create stuff with. Those people are very logical people, and then when I create with them, I'm able to create good things without ruining anything. Because I'm not, it's you have your personal bias, your personal lens, and I don't have that anymore. So I'm kind of glad about that. I'm kind of feeling like I've improved on that because I'm able to see types as types with complexity, whatever you say it. But It's his name, Frenchie. No, 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 no. I'm talking about a real person, not a fictional person, real person, and like a genuine fucking would not want to fuck with them. I remember Jack from season. Okay, I feel like there are some issues when it comes to EIE typing for someone like Jack. Where is NIE go? Where is any demonstrative? EIEs are mystical people. They're mystical leaders. That's what they are, mystical leaders. And I think people sometimes type people as EIEs, like Martin Luther King. He's typed EIE. And Naranjo types him 8. My friends think he's an SEE 8. But he's an EIE. Right? But EIEs are supposed to be, again, mystical people. Hesitant. More hesitant. Visionary people, yes, but hesitant. For someone like with Jack, you don't see that. You don't see that. He was physical and forceful, and acted on his physicality with complete confidence. He was the leader of a basketball team. Why would he be SI vulnerable, for example? Why would he have weak physics, for example, or even insecure physics? Why would he? Ooh. Yeah, Jason. Yeah, I know. Jason Carver. Jason Carver, I think, is his name. But I don't see EIE for him. I don't know. I don't see EIE. I think EIE is. I genuinely think, guys, EIE is overtyped. I was talking to Raven, and Raven told me, you know what? Tupac is an SE. And I was actually I was considering SCE for Tupac a while back, because I was looking at his behavior. I thought he was a static type. Hard to imagine him being a rational type. Right? Very impulsive guy. Spurging the fuck out. But I don't know. And why is she right? Who's Raven and why is she? Raven is someone. Raven is not she. Raven is a he. Raven is a friend of mine, a very knowledgeable friend of mine. He's an LSI. He's an LSI and very smart guy, and he's the one who helps me. I mean, he's the one who creates the portraits. Not the only one, obviously, because there are other people involved in making other portraits of the types for classic socionics, but he's one of those people. Very, very intelligent guy. He makes analysis on types often. He has his own link tree. So yeah, that's basically who Raven is, my friend. EIEs. So yeah, well, that's the thing. But I feel like we're mistyping EIEs. We were mistyping EIEs. Was it that British guy on the stream? No, that was James. That was a fucking. He was an IE. He was an IE. That was James. James is funny. This is the link tree, by the way. This is the link tree, if you want it. Yeah, it's a lot of it is on the channel. He has other things, He has sexual 6 explained, black ethics as the characteristics to Enneagram 1, and socionics explained, sexual 4 and socionics explained. Napoleon, socionics, correlations. Did he change correlations? Let me see. He doesn't update a lot of them. I should tell him maybe to update it. He has all the he has so much shit there, man. All the books. He has all the books, which is useful for people. Yeah, people, like people can have difficult time talking to Raven, but I don't know. Even I had difficult time talking to Raven many times, man. We clashed heads many times. We we had our own little disagreements many times, but friends are friends, I'm not gonna fucking be disloyal to him, or I went against many people for him because that's what friends do. That's it. Regardless of any disagreements, he's improved though. He actually has improved majorly. Sometimes it's crazy. He has improved big time. Weird to see and good to see. Would I clash with him? Would you clash with him? I think not as much as some other people. I think you could clash with him, but not as much as some other people. Because it's funny, I have seen him interact with an ILI. It was an ILI, Social 5. It was LVEF, who thought he was VLEF. And they were interacting. And this ILI was just talking in a server, and he kind of mentioned he's VLEF. So Raven was like, "You're not VLEF." Okay. He just said it. You're not VLEF. There's no such thing as VLEF, this ILI. And they start talking. And it's funny, but the ILI, he wasn't, he didn't like Raven's approach. He didn't like his approach, his rigidity, but he wasn't butthurt about it. He dealt with it very well, and in the end, he changed his type. He retyped himself. So I think for an ILI, you guys will just ignore this person, or like, yeah, okay, yeah, and then move. You're not gonna get sweaty. It's me who would get sweaty, not you. Yeah, Palpatine, you mean? Yeah. Rarely. He nowadays he does. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's true. He doesn't reply as much. He's distanced himself. He has distanced himself a lot. It's not your experience. It's it's pretty true. It's pretty true. He used to be way more active, but he stopped. How much time do you usually spend on PDB? Probably huh, more than my brain cells deserve. That's all I can say. I spend more time on PDB than my brain cells fucking should, because in fact I shouldn't spend any time on PDB. I shouldn't spend any time on PDB, but I do. I read. I make fucking comments, and I get into fucking arguments. And what the fuck for? I don't fucking know. It's less so for sure, less so than I ever did, and I'm distancing myself again because it's a fucking fuckfest. It's a massive. Honestly, PDB is full of fucking pathetic losers. I mean, I don't know how to say it any other way. I've seen some genuinely pathetic human beings on PDB, like scum of this planet Earth, like people not worth oxygen, That's the levels of humanity I've seen on PDB. Degenerate pieces of shit on PDB. So obviously, when you feel that sort of way about something, you shouldn't fucking use it. I recognize that. But what I try to do, I try to minimize the community aspect. I get sucked into that shit all the fucking time. All the fucking time. I just fucking can't do it. But I just try to. I like typing characters. I like it. I like typing characters, and I like the process of analyzing it or explaining and having it, there on my page. So I will try to use it for typing characters. Typing characters I like. Uh, Typing things I'm interested in, you know, exploring my thoughts. That's what that's what's gonna happen. Shit. PDB has addictive nature. It does. It does. Especially if typology is. I mean, typology is one of the main things I do. I mean, you know, um, I mean, people have. It's not even just one of the main hobbies. I earned money with typology. I have earned money with typology. Okay, through support of people, I've earned it. You know. So especially in that case, it's too easy to. But it's to be honest, I'm making up excuses. This is just bullshit. To be honest, like I've always been this way. I've always been fucking involved in community bullshit, fucking drama, being notorious in the community, people fucking thinking I'm a dickhead, arrogant prick. And I've always been that way. I remember being fucking like 15 on this stupid forum, like this gaming community. Everyone knew me, people didn't like me. I was very good though. I was a very good player, but they didn't like me. Big fucking, I remember, man, I was 15 years old, and I remember recording this like Indian Bollywood cover, and I was like making fun of it and shit. I remember, dude. I was, yeah, I shouldn't have done that, but I fucking like made fun of it and the Bollywood shit because there's many like, yeah, whatever. But then I posted it on this like forum, and they're like, oh shit, and uh, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Everyone was like, "This motherfucker, man." But yeah, I've always been involving myself in that type of shit, community shit. I'm like a crack addict for it. I need to be involved in it. It's not good. Fucking, it's not good at all. But fuck it. At least if change your mentality. If I'm involved into community, at least make a positive impact and use your efforts and energy into the right fight. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like, at least, okay, you're channeling all of this shit and energy into something in the community, but it's benefiting, it's good, and it's more productive in a way rather than arguing with fucking randoms. No one gives a fuck about randoms, right? Jesus. I recently saw a conversation between you and someone who made fun of your appearance and even edited your ears. Yeah, that was. Let me tell you that was as perplexing for me as it was for you. Like, you have to understand, right? Like, I made a post on a page. Or like it was FLVE. It was the Psychosophy page, and I made a post. And there's this guy who suddenly says, "You're wrong. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're stupid." And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck is this guy? Like he talks like I did something to his family. Like who is he? You know, what's this weird energy? And so we kind of go back and forth. And he starts like spurging the fuck out. He's like, "What are you trying to say? Like, no one knows me? Like, why are you trying to offend me?" And I'm like, "No one. I'm not trying to offend you. I don't know who the fuck you are. Like, this is the truth. You're going to a random person. I don't know who the fuck you are." And then he's like, "Lol, look at your appearance," and I'm like, "Okay, wow." He went as far as to get on his shit PC and edit a picture of mine. Okay, that's okay. Well, time to step away. Time to back off. This is mental illness. But that's how it was for me. And I discovered it's this same guy who has hated on me, like made multiple posts about me, different accounts, uh, saying I'm arrogant and I'm a fucking larper. I don't deserve shit. I'm a fucking hate him. But that's fuck, dude. Like, I'm not even like, you think I'm making this shit up, but I'm not. I all I do, I sit here, I open my mouth. Think about that. Like, I'm not, going crazy. I'm sitting here, I'm opening my mouth, and that's the impact it has. I wish I was making it the fuck up. I was baffled when they added astrology votes to PDB, because they don't give a fuck about the people in the typology community. I was kind of ranting about this in the beginning of the stream, but it's proof that they don't give a shit. The community asked for socionics flares for 2 years. 2 years, 3 years. They were asking for this. And do you think they cared? No. They instead went with astrology, which, by the way, I no offense to anyone who likes astrology, is an insult to typology. I, uh, genuinely, it's an insult to typology, but that's how the fuck it is. Because it is popular. Because people want to see it. Because newbies, new people, astrology. Let's attract astrology people to the website. Let's pollute the website. Let's make it more popular so we gain more money. And listen, I'll tell you this about website. I understand making profit. I understand it because you live off it. This is your business. And my mentality to making profit has always been the same. It's, don't abandon the principles that you have for money, or the principles that you have, your dignity, for sell your shit and sell what you do, literally, like shit on what you do and the quality of it to get more money. And that's a thing I refuse to do. And there's a beautiful line in between. I think, like, make money, make it more accessible to make money, but don't butcher everything and stick to your principles. Like, don't abandon it completely, because that's going to be fucked up. That's not going to work. you know and that's my own personal, like, mentality on, even on YouTube, making money. You could make more money. You could fucking do what those goofy cunts are. Create fucking shit content. Create low quality content. Make it fucking baity, right? Spread everywhere as like a disease and get more exposure, get more money. Easy profit, easy brand. Wow. But am I willing to fucking sell knowing that I'm doing shit? I like this thing, I like Typology, but I'm gonna butcher it, I'm gonna ruin it, I'm gonna destroy the quality of the content to get more exposure. Fuck that. Like, I'm not gonna fucking do that, you know? So I always think with business and stuff like that, you need to balance it. Like, get the bread, get the money, but not at cost of what the fuck you're doing. He showed you. That's funny. What's the best way to identify if somebody is LSC? Look at the relationship with time. An LSC is very conscious of his of time, struggles in time. So anything with time, hurrying up, being impatient, needing to do everything at once, not knowing how to manage things, so being very like reactive. Look at the person's relationship with time. Okay, that's very helpful. LIE relationship with sensorics, sensations, comfort, stuff like that. LSC is completely confident in that. So you see many LSCs be cooks. They're cooking. They know how to make pleasant sensations for people. They know how to create pleasant sensations for themselves. How to make themselves feel comfortable. They understand the value of it. They know how to do it for others. LIE is coped. So there's a lot of conscious feeling, discomfort, and weirdness into those areas. So always look at that. Just look at the cope area. The cope area is conscious. We are aware of it. There's a lot of energy put in it, and there's a lot of reactivity. Like a good case of Anaipola is Ben Shapiro. He talks how he always is doing something. Even when he's waiting on a chair getting ready for an interview, he's reading a book because he has to be feeling like he's doing something. He's not wasting time. That's not NI ego behavior. NI ego is calm and relaxed about time, confident about time. They're not gonna be like this, sweaty as fuck about it. Raz, do you sometimes see some 1L people as weak people who cling to some dogmatic opinions because they somehow can't deal with uncertainty and can't live without some definitive narratives? I don't think I view 1L people as weak people. I view some 1L people, I can view them as delusional. I can view them as delusional, which for me, it's like, and it's particular people, particular types, TI bases sometimes. No offense, sometimes TI bases. Okay. So let's say, right, this is the way I think. Okay, I argue that something exists, right? I argue existence of something, and I will give you a concrete proof of this existence with typology, right? For example, I'll say inquisitive Enneagram 8 exists. And I will give you concrete example of a person that you also agree that is 8. And I will then show you this person's backstory, right? I will show you how they are described by biographers, how they're described, what they did in life. We both agree they're 8. And you'll see all of those things. And then I'll tell you, see, this is example of inquisitive Enneagram 8. It's possible because you cannot deny reality. You cannot deny someone who was this way and clearly is inquisitive, interested in philosophy, interested in literature, interested in the theory, in fucking debates, changing the social climate, whatever the fuck. This is an inquisitive individual according to the Big Five. But then, if the person tells me that's not true because 8 can't be inquisitive, or they say, no, this person is not inquisitive, they can't be because 8 can't be inquisitive. Now I get pissed off. I get pissed off because now now I'm getting a bit spurgy because now we're getting into territory of delusion. You're trying to distort his like the fact this person shows clear facets of inquisitiveness because you don't think this concept should have this quality. That's what I don't like often about TI base. And to me, I'm sorry, I love TI bases. I have TI bases friends, but to me, yes, I call it, I said it many times, delusion. That's what the fuck it is. Do you believe you could be a politician? No. I don't think so. I don't think I could be a politician, mainly because I think I'll be good at being a politician, you know? Could I get a lot of influence? Probably I could. You know, I could. I will tell you this. I'll tell you this. The perfect comparison for me, my personality, and being politician or anything in leadership position. If you ever watch Mad Max, if you ever watch Furiosa, there's this new movie Furiosa, and there is Chris Hemsworth is playing this character called the Mantis, and the Mantis really captures the perfection of how it would be for me as a politician. Yes, you're great at mobilizing people. You're great at getting people to conquer things and taking over things. You can take over things, communities and places. You can do that with people, but to maintain it and to make sure it thrives, that's the hard part. And that's the thing with being a politician. One of the things I couldn't do. Could I maybe go far, make enough impact to do it? Yes, I could. I could do that. How would that work if I would be in a good position? That would be bad because now I need to maintain things, and I'm not. That's not my best ability, if I'm being honest with myself, truly, because I. That's my track record. If whenever I had a group, whenever I had a big community, it was big, it was successful, but guess what happened to it? Imploded from inside. So I'm aware of this, and I can say, that's not my strength. Um, Dangerous. Now, another part of being a politician is another thing. I couldn't be a politician is because you can't give a fuck. When you're a politician, you cannot give a fuck. You have to be a snake. When you are a politician, you have to be a fucking rat. And that's I and so many things the politicians stand for, and the bullshit games they play. I don't want to play. I don't want to play the games. I don't want to feed people this bullshit that I don't believe in, because I think it might work, and uh, I don't want to do that shit. And second of all, I don't think I'm the right personality for politicians. I speak my mind. I'm impulsive with my words sometimes. I'm abrasive with my words. I don't think before I speak sometimes. Not a very effective politician. Should we? No, I don't want to discuss it because I've never watched Death Note. As much as the Big Five is scientifically accurate, is determine the facets of that. But yeah. I mean, it's not supposed to be intuitive. They create they have an assessment test, an instrument, personality instrument, as they call it. I think that's the official name for it, and that's kind of what happens. But yeah, they ask you questions, and based on that, they determine it. I feel like we like to say, it's scientific, yeah, it's validated, but it's not as complex, bro. It's not like fucking, oh my god, mathematical numbers. It's okay, this person is more open, this person seems more creative, this person is interested in art and this, they have high levels of openness. I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's easy. I mean, think about Big Five is like the easiest system, and it's the most scientific. Probably that's why it's scientific, because unlike all the other shit that we are dealing with that's hyper complicated, Big Five is super fucking simple, easily validated. Hello, geek, I guess. Do you agree that Enneagram 4 can sometimes look like 8? Um, on on rare occasions, I think it's possible. I think it's possible on rare occasions. Now, not SP8, SP8, not SO8, but sexual 8. That's the only thing. Not always, but I think they can sometimes be mistaken. Because people don't know what to look for. I think at the end of the day, 8 is insensitive, and they have denial. So that's the biggest difference. And 4 is not insensitive. They're very sensitive, and they're very vulnerable. They're in touch with their vulnerability. Even 4, even sexual 4, which is tends to be a bit more aggressive with it. 8 is more, there's denial, there's insensitivity, and there's almost delusion that they're fine. Like I'm an 8. I cannot imagine. I mean, I don't even have a 4 fix, so maybe that's probably plays a part. But it's hard for me to just imagine, being a victim of things, or feeling like I'm a victim, feeling like I'm sad or bad, or like, oh my, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. It's weird. No, my dear duel, don't do this. Don't use the quadro values. They're not good, man. Because I'll be honest with you. Part of the reason why I type myself SLE is because everyone told me. I swear to God, I had like fucking Western experts tell me I'm the most beta quadra person that has ever lived. The most beta quadra. I'm collectivistic. I'm focused. Us against them. I'm group oriented. Oh my god, he's dramatic and right and ideological. Whoa, but that doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit. The fucking quadra values are nothing more than fuckfest. Let's not use them to type people. Any anime? I was watching, dude. I watched anime when I was a kid. Like Dragon Ball Z and other shit. But lately, actually, I was watching Attack on Titan season 2. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. Some of it I felt was a bit slow. It was a bit fucking dragging, and then but I liked it. You watched One Piece. I watched One Piece when I was young. When I was young, I loved One Piece, but that was, dude, I didn't even know what the fuck typology was. Didn't give a fuck about stuff like that. But yeah, yes, Yes, I think social threes can be excellent, excellent leaders. I think probably one of the most effective leaders. I'll be honest. Probably one of the most effective leaders. Social three. Social three is very underrated. Very underrated. Very fucking. This is OP type. This is overpowered type. Don't worry, Russ. I just use them as a mental reference. I know they don't take much prisoners. You and I both, they do have a bit of magical sense of truth. What the fuck is magical sense of truth? I just I have so much aversion towards it because I mean I see like they type with them. Oh, he is this, so he's quadra this quadra. Really? Like he is fucking like he's ideological and he's like crazy, so he's beta quadra. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I see that shit. It pisses me off. I'm not saying quadras are complete garbage. There's nothing. But the way Western uses quadras, it's a joke. It's a mother. Why the how the think about it? Muhammad Ali is typed a fucking SLE. And do you know why he's typed an SLE? Because he's beta quadra. That's why. Muhammad Ali, FI polar. Muhammad motherfucking Ali, FI polar. Why? Because he's beta quadra, baby. That's why. So yeah, I do think it's bullshit. And I'm not, I don't even think of quadra when I type people anymore. It doesn't, like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Quadra values don't even cross my mind. I'm done. And I used to use quadra values all the time. I used to use them all the time whenever I was typing someone or quadra values. Oh, you're gamma, you're beta, you're, and it's bullshit. It's pure. It's bullshit. They shouldn't be used that way. They shouldn't be used that way. Oh man. Attack on Titan. Levi, Sexual 6, Armin, SP6. I think his name was that. The girl, the girl ESI SP4. Aaron Jaeger, Social 8 SCE. Uh, uh, the commander LIE, Social 7. Yeah. Speaking of, I've started learning Japanese. What the fuck, man? Good job, man. Good luck with the language. It's. I respect you for even trying to learn a language like a language like Japanese. It's hard. It's hard to learn a language. You need discipline. That's the hardest thing about learning a language. You need the discipline and you need the repetition. We watched Attack on Titan, and I'm more convinced that Eren. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I've seen Sexual 6 was crazy, to say the least. Like Sexual 6 was like insane. Then I've seen Sexual 4, which I'm trying to figure out where the 4 comes from because I've never seen Eren as a character who's envious or he's focused on his image in that way or what he's lacking. I've never seen that, Again, I'm season 2, so I'm sure there's a lot, but that's not his point. I mean, he's hateful, but he's hateful to who? He's hateful to the Titans who are butchering people and oppressing people, which, by the way, doesn't make you a sexual four. No. The guy is literally focused on the ideal of protecting and sacrificing everything to eliminate those people, even sacrificing himself and the way he is viewed by his own friends to defeat them in the end, to do those fucked up things. I mean, to me, he's very 1v. I mean, that he's all 1v. He's one big 1v, you know. uh, that's all. One big first will, or wanting freedom, which is very eight, you know. I mean, eight is, he captures the type, actually, I think, very well. Even Ichazo especially, you know, very eight. Freedom, he always wanted freedom. He couldn't have freedom until the the titans would be killed off, every single fucking one of them. And he is so rebellious. He's rebellious against shit, and he beats Armin up, I think, right? He beats Armin. He beats him up. Calls him a fucking sheep, you know. He calls him a fucking slave who wants to be a follower, which is like, yeah, that's eight shit. Eight shit, man. Eight shit. It can happen, you know. Eights can have that mentality where you can almost look down on people because they want to be accepted, or they want to like follow and shit and be part of the fucking NPCs. You can fucking have contempt for that, you know. Of course, it's not good, and it's you shouldn't have contempt for people for that, because everyone's different, you know. Just because someone is more of a follower, or you know, adheres to things more, that doesn't make them weak or pathetic. They're just a person with their own qualities. What relation do SPAs have with? I would say they do have sense of justice. Their own code of conduct, right? Fuck with me, I'll fuck with you twice. Mm, typical each other age shit. You know, this is a person who um, will, if you cross lines and you mess with them, people they care about, anything like that. Yeah, they will fuck you up. They will fuck you up. They have a strong sense of justice. Yeah, what's up? Hello, man. Yeah, I'm gonna be going off soon, actually. So the timing, right? Because I'm streaming for 3 fucking hours. Yeah, Quadra. The funny thing with Quadra is that they appear too simplistic, which is kind of the opposite, because it's like they appear almost stupidly simplistic, like almost like a child could think this way. Like, okay, he is dramatic and he is violent, and he likes to create drama, he's provocative, so he is SC valuing because he's aggressive, and he is beta quadra because he's provocative. I mean, it's kind of like a child, like it's like almost like a child could think of this. So it's not even, it's overly simplistic. That's the problem. um, Typing people genuinely in classic is much harder than people really realize. Like, I remember when I used to be more into WSS, like Western socionics, it was so easy because everything is based on stereotypes. Everything is, oh, he's very aggressive, pushy, forceful, SE valuing, easy peasy, SE, right? Now it's kind of it's difficult. Now it's like, what is his super ego? What is his ego block? How does his super ego manifest? You know, how are the blocks working together? Like, uh, is this role element, or is this fucking vulnerable element? Which one is it? You know, while in the Western it's kind of like, fucking role element, no one gives a fuck. Vulnerable polar, yeah, you ignore it, you're blind, whatever the fuck. You know, it's so much more simple. In classic, it's more difficult, I feel like, but it's like mathematics. It's crazy. It sounds crazy, but it's like mathematics. Everything works together, and every single thing is explained. Every single thing is explained with the way it works with blocks, with elements. Every element is important. Every element does something important, so takes a while to fucking get good at it. I mean, I'm still learning, I'm still fucking learning. I'm still in the journey of learning it, but it's definitely, I feel much better with it. I'm starting to understand the elements, like how to spot SC, how to spot TI, the ego blocks, the super ego blocks. I'm getting a better understanding. Still, sometimes the super ego blocks overall, how they work as a whole and how they will manifest, that's a bit more tricky in some types. I'm still learning that. I don't not type. Ah, fuck. I don't type Vi as a social aid. I do agree she's a self-preservation aid, SLE. I used to type as social aid back when I first watched the show, which then I changed my mind and I'm like, no, she's very SB8. She's so fucking SB8. And I thought she's very FI polar. Very fucking FI polar. Coped levels of FI polar. No way. Someone who really thinks Aaron is really thinks. I'm tired of these extra for votes. Yeah. He's too emotional. Yeah, but you cannot type him sexual thought just because he's too emotional to be socially. It's not good enough. Yeah, like I agree, he's very emotional, he's very fucking brooding, he's very emo. I agree with you. I'm not saying that's not true, but I can't type him fucking 4 just because of that. Just because of those qualities. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The fucking guy abandoned everything. I mean, it's funny, but he was a slave. He was truly a slave to his ideals. He was a slave to himself, to his goals, to his idea of himself and his purpose. He was a slave to his own purpose, which, when you really think about it, is like the most extreme 1v shit ever. He can't even help it. He can't help it. I mean, people might disagree, but fucking. Riders of Justice. It's Danish. Riders of Justice. Rider. Oh, fuck. Of Justice. Oh, fucking! I've seen a scene with this guy. That's the fucking actor who played Hannibal Lecter. He was going in and he was confronting someone. He's opening the door, and then this guy was fucking deadly as fuck. Scary motherfucker. Would you say socionics? Yes. Yes. It is. It is. I don't know how typing works in classical, but isn't an easy way to find your dominant. It is an easy way, but clearly not, right? Um, it's mixed because, okay, polar, right? We know it's cope the fuck up. Like you're struggling, you're cope the fuck up. It's normative. So it cannot solve any problems. It can only identify problems. It cannot solve anything. You are only relying on objective information when it comes to your polar. You don't want people to access it. Okay. Yeah, but then even you have this role element, you know, this role element which is also rigid, right? Normative, which is also sometimes confuse people, even though they're not the same things. Because I think the role is actually much more. It dictates. It believes it knows better. That's not the case for the polar. So I feel like it's supposed to be easy, but in practice it isn't. In practice it's more difficult because people struggle with multiple things. For example, you will still struggle with your role. You will still struggle with your mobilizing. You will still struggle with your vulnerable. So there are so many different areas here at play. No, 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 no. That's very. I don't see it. I don't see it. What the fuck? Rhaenyra fucking ate SCE or something? Like Rhaenyra is the SCE? Like, so Damon is like the SLE, but he's like actually the rebellious one. And he's the impulsive one, while she's kind of just weird. She's not, like that would make sense, man. I don't see it at all. Like, I don't see 8. I don't see fucking SE base. No, no, she's not even FE demo. She's serious. She is she controlled. Like rigid. She's very weird. She would not be an SE. I really don't see it. Clone Wars Anakin was definitely social aid. Definitely, I can see why people might think the fucking. I kind of don't like what they did with him, man. Anakin, they butchered him. Poor fucking Anakin. They made him. I don't know. He started crying like, "I hate you!" Like, ah, man, it pains me. Anyway, guys, listen. I need to fucking go. Okay, 4 hours, nearly 4 hours. This is like the longest stream. 3 hours 20 minutes. So I need to bounce, and I'm very hungry. I'm gonna make some eggs, and we'll see each other next week. No, not next week. We'll see each other on Friday. Yeah, Roshiro, sorry, bro. Like, you fucking, oh my god, dude. It pains me, bro. You missed it. But Friday. I'm gonna stream on Friday for anyone here. Not chicken, eggs. Not chicken. Thank you. Thanks to all of you guys. It's always fun to talk to you. Seriously. Uh, I like Typology because of you. It's really fun. Fuck it, man. Let's enjoy that shit. Let's go. Let's go, man. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go eat now. You guys have fun, and uh, see you Friday, and enjoy your evening, and sleep well. Good night to everyone.